All right, I'm going out to the van. I've got some things I need to do and some things that I need to test. I did something relatively stupid. I tried to recreate one of these probably borderline successful YouTube experiments, and I said, what the heck? I've got time to spare, so I did build one of those ice cooler ACs. You guys know I've got a regular AC and a generator in here, but there could be times when I don't want to drop the receiver rack, and so I thought there might be something that can tide me over for a few minutes. When I'm deep in the depths of the Texas summer misery. So what I did do, and I'm trying to clean this thing out again. This is a pain in the butt trying to empty this place and rebuild it and stay in it at the same time. In any case, this is exactly what, and this is not my creation at all. I'm not trying to shift blame for it, but I do want to give the guy credit for coming up with the concept, because I think it's a pretty sound concept. It's one of these inline blowers, Seaflow. I know it has something to do with boats, and it's pretty loud. And basically what I've got here, let me see if I can get in here real fast, is a very powerful fan, and it's going through a pipe that's in this good Lord, that's in this cooler, and that pipe is going to be cooled by ice, assuming this works. So this is a pretty stiff fan. It's blowing into the cooler, and I don't have a directional pipe out of the cooler yet, so it's actually coming out here. And boy, is it coming out! Trust me, it's a heavy-duty breeze. So I'm going to see, and it's actually relatively cool. If the ice can drop it a little bit, it'd be pretty nice. It is going through and being compressed in size, which this guy's concept. That if you take a larger input and compress it to a smaller output, it does create a little bit more coolness. So what I'm going to go do now is buy, I guess, a single bag of ice first, and then I'm going to just let it sit for a while, and I'm going to come back out and try it again and see if I do get any cool air. Like I said, this is like an hour or 2 hour break type thing when I don't want to drop to use the fan over in the corner. Forget this junk. And I just want to get it cool in a hurry, and I don't plan to be sitting long enough to drop the receiver rack and put the generator out there. So let me go over here. There's actually a switch on here, so I can switch it off, I believe. There we go. So I can switch it off. So I'm going to go get a bag of ice and drop it in here. I'm probably gonna move it up to my front seat because I don't know whether it's gonna leak or not, and I'd rather it leak it in the front than in the back. I put some. I've got a little sealer around the output here, and the input I have put this in with water weld, JB Weld's water weld. So I'm hoping that's going to stop it from leaking, but we'll see very shortly. All right, I am back from the 7-Eleven, which is where I went to get my ice. Probably cheaper places to get ice, but this is a test, so I needed to get it conveniently. So this is a Seaflow 6.0 amp. It's got a 10 amp fuse in it. It says it's 12 volt DC fan here. And we're going to see how it's going to work, and if it's going to be able to. And I know there's a lot of doubt about whether these cooler setups work, and I'm with you on that. So basically what I did on this one was it has a length of pipe. It goes in the bottom, and I can feel the cold coming up the pipe. My main thing is I want to check and see how worthy it is going to be of seaworthy, whether it's going to leak or not. I used, like I said, water weld around here on both sides. I also used some water weld around this way, mostly on the top, not on the bottom, but I'll do that as well. But you can see the depth of the ice here is not going to be where the water should go up to the top here. So it's something I can address if it becomes an issue. But we'll see how this works. I don't have an AC in my van, and it's my fault. I could have had one in here by now, and I can't afford to get it done. I can't afford to get it done. It frustrates me to this damn Ford, and that's basically the first word people use when they work on Fords is the D word. The air conditioning compressor is at the bottom of the stupid engine. I can replace the air conditioning compressor in 15 minutes or less if it's at the top, but at the bottom you have to take off the radiator, the shroud, the fan. You have to go down to the bottom to do that. So what would be a $30 or $40 or maybe a $50 or $60 job on any other thing, it's going to be a $400 or $500 job to do this, to do the air compressor on this thing, if that's the only problem and they're not leaks. And I really believe they're going to be leaks as well. So I thought I would try this. And those of you who say this is a stupid thing to do, I agree. I'm going to reach over here and all right, that's reasonably cool. It's not quite what I would call factory AC kind of cool, but it is cool. So it is getting a little bit cooler going through there. Now I haven't had it in there for a long time, so it's probably not a lot of ice melt yet. Let me go around and take a look. And I also haven't added the rock salt. You know, one thing you'll find out when you do these and post it, rock salt's going to be in everybody's mind. I guess the rock salt, and I think they call it ice cream salt in some of these places. So it is doing a good bit. Let me go around here and take a look, because I haven't given it a chance for a lot of the ice to melt. We'll say a couple hours, an hour and a half, an hour. And then it is better. I'm going to get one of those, I don't know, and even compress the air more with, say, one of those, what is it, PVC type pipes plumbers use, and stick it in there, and as a directing force. But we'll worry about that later. Okay, let's peek inside. I left it gapped to see if I get a little melt here. I have not gotten very much melt at all. So I think probably adding a little water would have been a nice little addition here. But in the meantime, that's at least that shows the concept is not bad. I don't think I have any real ice melt in there. So I think we're getting there. I suppose I could leave this open and let the ice melt, but it just won't. I just can't let myself do that. I did have it gapped open a bit, so maybe we'll get a little melt. But that is, I can't really tell now. My hand's been in the ice, so I can't. I like that. It makes it tolerable in here. Now, how it'll work in the back, we'll have to see. And I think that's going to require some more ice melt. And I will go pick up the rock salt later today to pour in there. And I think probably I can get 2 or 3 days out of that ice just looking at what I've got already. And anyway, we'll see, and I'll see the next step. I'm going to pour water in there. I'm going to put rock salt, and that's going to be more videos on this to see if this concept has any validity at all. And I know every AC guy is just lined up to say, no, you're doing this horrible. That won't work. Never work. Never work. Never work. Probably not, but what the heck? Give a guy a break. I got something to do. A little experiment. The worst thing that happened is I've thrown away money on this cooler. And throwing away money has never been a problem for me to begin with. All right, talk to you later.